gentlemen, it's time to meet the players as Adam Gawlas takes on the Titan Duijvenbode.
So then, we start the night in Group D with Duijvenbode, who was the first player to qualify for the knockouts against Adam Gawlas. The Dutchman, he's looked pretty good, hasn't he? Came through a last leg decider against Martin Schindler to claim 2 points on Saturday with a near 103 average, by the way, and followed that up with a 5-3 comeback win over Rob Cross yesterday. This, the first time he's made it out the group. Gawlas, meanwhile, is winless and heading home after this evening. That is after defeats to Cross and Martin Schindler over the weekend. This a first ever meeting between these two. And in comms for our first match on night 3, good evening to John Part and Dan Dawson.
Thank you very much, Anima. Good evening. Permutations all over the place tonight, but we're going to start with a relatively easy one for you. We know Duijvenbode is going through to the last 16 of the Grand Slam for the first time. It's only his second appearance at the Slam, and he finished bottom of his group when he made his debut a couple of years ago. But he will want to go through as the group winner with 3 wins out of 3, not least because he gets an extra $3.5 grand bonus for doing so. Adam Gawlas, he may be eliminated, but if he could claw himself off that bottom of the table and just get that 3rd spot, that's not only an extra 3 grand, it might be a very, very crucial 3 grand for Adam Gawlas, who is in a sort of nervy kind of position in maintaining his professional status come the start of next year. You'll see him at the World Championship. He nicked the last qualifying spot for that. But it is still slightly worrying for the Czech #1 whether he can stay on the circuit. Got to be in the top 64 in the world ranking. So an extra 3 grand would come in very handy. But as for tonight, it's all about how Dirk makes it through to the knockout rounds of the Slam for the first time in his career. How impressed have you been with him so far, John Part?
I've been very impressed with Dirk, but maybe for the wrong reasons. And the reasons was because of the comebacks. He's hung in there. He's fought his way past some difficult spots in both his matches, coming back and winning. And playing very well, throwing well. But, you know, I'm sure tonight he'd rather just kind of get out to a lead and run away with it. A little more relaxing, although, as you said, there's not really the pressure of getting through anymore. It's just more about confirming #1 position and getting that bonus, and also theoretically you get a better draw.
Yeah, well, this is paired up with Group C, and that's got Michael Smith, Joe Cullen, Richie Edhouse and Lisa Ashton. We have absolutely no idea how that's going to finish come the end of the night, so it's not as if you could think, top spot, I'm guaranteed somebody I'd like to face.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think that's one of the reasons why somewhere along the way they added the bonus for winning your group. Just more incentive to make sure players just perform for the right reasons rather than try to negotiate a draw they prefer.
Well, Duijvenbode just wants to win. Look at the intensity of the man. He's not there just to make up the numbers. He wants to win big as well. A couple of finals on telly this year. Hasn't quite crossed the line, although he came very close in the World Series finals against Gerwyn Price.
57.
You know, Dirkie, you wouldn't know it looking at him now, but he operates so well off of adrenaline, and he gets so fired up, and his skill level does seem to get better. Well, there's a very calm and deliberate 180. I wouldn't say that's the typical Duijvenbode 180, but hell, it was nice.
But is that the start of the motor running? Because once it does get up to full speed, it is quite the trip that Duijvenbode can take you on.
59.
Adam Gawlas not doing anything at all in this opening leg. Well, he's gone the treble 16 route.
48.
I think he was eyeing up 2 double 16s, but when your opponent's on 200, he can kind of do what you want. He's got a conservative effort at it to make sure he at least got the single.
He might turn around to find himself under some pressure here. What a nice visit.
Well, a little tap on the shoulder for Dirk van Duijvenbode, who ignores it completely. 1-0 to the Dutchman.
Second leg, Dirk to throw first. Game on.
And on the type of matches that Dirk has won so far in the group phase, they're the kind of ones we often feel like they prepare you for the nitty-gritty of tough matches in the longer format knockout, not because of the format, but just because you're under the pressure a lot and you're having to deal with a high-pressure situation. If you win too easily in the group, you haven't really gotten through that. You're not maybe as ready.
Yeah, Corin Hammond, our colleague, was making a similar point yesterday. I always felt if you win 5-0, 5-0, it's quite a good thing, John, but maybe not.
Well, yeah, before Johnny played his second game, I was kind of dismissing his 5-0 because it was too easy. And it wasn't any preparation. He might struggle last night, but apparently he won 5-0 again.
Yeah, keeps on that.
So some truth in numbers, maybe.
Adam Gawlas has sparked into life in this second leg. But Dirk is going to leave himself on a finish. Oh, wow. That's such a frustrating one. 171 would have left him on a 2-dart checkout. As it is, he is on a finish, but it's a tricky one.
$65. Dirk, you require 148. 57.
Well, an opportunity for Gawlas to break straight back.
116.
And he strikes me as someone who doesn't miss the wedge much. So just to get the one treble, which he's done, he should get the opportunity for the tops.
He does.
76.
But he is not very far away, Adam Gawlas. May go double-double. No, he's looking up. Can't find the treble 14.
51.
So Adam Gawlas does get 3 more darts to break straight back and level the match up at 1 apiece.
Game shot, second.
Opportunity taken. He seems to be enjoying himself, John.
It was a little delayed there, but yeah, he is. Hasn't had much to be happy about, to be fair. So you can see him being a little sarcastic about winning a leg.
96.
He does have a curious on-stage demeanour, Adam Gawlas. You've not seen a great deal of the effusive Gawlas this weekend, but as you say, he hasn't had a great deal to get excited about. But his perhaps standout moment on the tour this year was in his home country on the European Tour in the Czech Republic, where he did reach a quarter-final with some real gripping contests. And the celebrations were stuff of legend. And another maximum suggests that Dirk van Duijvenbode, this is not just going to be a coronation as group winner.
Well, he does need to fall behind in the match at some point. That's how he's been operating.
That's what gets him going. 3-1 down to Rob Cross. He was 4-3 down to Martin Schindler, and he actually produced his best stuff. There's a 10-darter against Rob Cross, 8 perfect darts to seal the win against Schindler. Gawlas has left himself on a bogey number. Dirk doing his best to not do the same.
87.
But doesn't work out.
Well, he had the math right. Just didn't throw it straight. His opponent, as I said, he does throw it straight. Wow, 2 dead center treble 20s.
134.
You know what, for that, I'm going to forgive that score of 59 to leave a bogey number. But he's got to make it count, Adam Gawlas, to hold his throw and move into the lead. A little smirk on his face. He's having fun. Don't think he'll enjoy that, mine.
Turkey requires 75.
I think it's just more the thing where when you're in the round robin and you just wish you had played this well at the beginning of it, or at least got better results in a similar fashion. Tops. And that's the result to give him a lead.
Full play, Turk to throw first.
All breaks of throwdown.
Yes, and keep an eye out for that tonight, because there are a couple of groups where it could become a factor in who progresses.
Yes, the prevailing thought is that it's better to have broken legs than to hold them, and that's the tie break. One of them.
To be honest, John, I am praying to the darting gods that we don't have to get the pen and paper out and look at legs one against the throw tonight. And if we do, you're doing it for me.
140.
I'm going to have to close myself in a sealed room for a few hours to figure that out.
55.
Well, with Dirk, I mean, he started off okay. He's leading this game. It's only a race to 5 and you're 2-1 up. I mean, you take it, but
58.
you're always waiting for that explosion, those sequences of visits.
But I believe truly it's adrenaline filled, and it's just not going to be manufactured out of necessity in this situation. He has pride in his game and his ability, and that's what he's working with now, and the artist part of him. But generally speaking, it's more about the full energy, as his walk-on suggests.
57.
You've got to make him angry or panic or worried. He's got to go into Hulk mode.
Yeah, he gets the best results out of the fight or flight whole thing. He puts up a fight.
He certainly does. One of the most consistent performers on the tour this year. A couple of titles to his name, 4 more finals in which he's been beaten. Gawlas is not fleeing, is he? I mean, shakes his head for the third 180, but he's right back in this leg.
Yes, he's really not letting himself off at all, is he? He's not enjoying it a bit.
68.
He's like, oh, I have to take this now? Oh. I don't know how keen he is on third here, Dan. Every success is making him more dour. Double 18. Double 9.
Really good. And a little hop and a skip, and all of a sudden everything is rosy in the Gawlas garden.
Game on.
Oh, dear. Was that for the shot or the hop and the skip?
They certainly appear to be men with different approaches to dancing. If you've seen Dirk's walk on, you will see him give it the full Dirk van Duijvenbode experience in the knockout rounds. But the question is, will he be group winner? Any kind of win here will be enough. 3 wins out of 3. Although there is a chance if he loses a narrow one, he could finish top still, but it's unlikely.
57.
Gawlas, obviously one of the more methodical players. How did you fare? I mean, if you were playing Dirk and the next game you were playing Adam, do you have to approach those games differently, John? Because they're going to go at very different paces.
Yeah, I approached all the games the same because I was extremely stubborn. And it didn't really work out that well. I preferred to play a pace player because I could play at a pace, and that's what I was comfortable at.
Didn't find yourself getting dragged along into an even quicker rhythm?
More thinking time, all that. It doesn't help. Not me. But I did learn to slow down a bit and get better at the slowing down on the out shots, making sure of doubles. I think with experience, you can calm yourself better and make more of certain opportunities by slowing down. So it wasn't something that I wasn't familiar with, but just on the whole game being very slow, I always hated it.
Well, he stayed there when it looked a little bit of a risky manoeuvre, but the risk has paid off, and it's 4 consecutive legs now that Adam Gawlas has hit a maximum. And there'll be plenty of people, myself included, who expected Dirk van Duijvenbode to be dominating that tally. Not so tonight.
Well, not yet.
Double top.
35. Turkey require 86.
To avoid falling behind. Double 16. Well, that's a little awkward. He's choosing to go high. Boy, we'll go low. I would have thought moving to the left would mean go high, but down the bottom of it.
Six leg.
We'll just explain that, John. He's moved to the left. Is he using that dart? It's just the angle of it, so there's even more to sort of slide down into the double 16. Is that the thinking?
I suppose, yes. I'm more familiar with going. I was more of the stacking type, so when I see things, I see it differently than the guys that come underneath the dart. So it doesn't look natural to me, but of course, it looked entirely natural in effect, didn't it?
Certainly did. And that was a natural sight seeing Dirk van Duijvenbode hitting a 180.
55.
He's not used to being out-maximumed.
60.
Now, as we sit here, Dan, Dirk's got. We see all the good scores, but the net result for Dirk is a 97.5 average as he throws this third dart.
27.
I mean, Dirk's playing at the level we kind of expect. Adam Gawlas, those numbers are bizarre, really, aren't they? It suggests if he gets one in the treble, he's following it with 2 or 3 every single time, but there's plenty of times when he doesn't get any in the treble.
47.
Bit like that.
Oh, and he missed his line on that dart, which I find surprising.
Aha. Raise of the eyebrows as Dirk misses out on what would have been a third maximum, but we're in danger here of seeing the lesser spotted hold of throw because we haven't seen one all night.
And Dirk threw those 3 darts with quite a bit of pace. It was a very quick visit.
That motor getting up and running, isn't he? It looks like he's taking control of this game. He should do from this position.
I think he's seen the barn.
54.
He's not quite in the stretch run though.
I mean, this would be a funny maximum. Oh, he thinks it'd be funny. Wolverhampton thinks it would be, and it is! It's number 5 to leave double 1.
I love it, I love it. We have to have fun when we play.
He's having the time of his life, Adam Gawlas. He might be bottom of the group, but he might be losing again, and he's having a laugh, and Dirk van Duijvenbode is not really seeing it as anything to get that excited about.
The contrast, Dirk trying to be serious against the backdrop of Gawlas, a laughathon.
Yeah, Dirk intense, Gawlas in fits. It would have been half a dozen maxima. He's not known as a massive 180 hitter. I mean, admittedly, most of the time you don't go for one on 182.
93.
Yeah, I tend to do it more like 179 or something.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
We've seen that before.
Really throwing well.
I mean, it is his best performance, isn't it? I mean, he was okay against Martin Schindler, certainly better than he was against Rob Cross, and he's got better again here against Dirk van Duijvenbode, but he's been up against some stern opposition.
Well, and when you run through the names and who the opposition are, I mean, a tough group, a very tough group to have those 3 in with you. I mean, we've had tough groups here, yes. This would be one of them.
Yeah, it certainly looks a very tough group if you're Adam Gawlas. Well, Dirk's at a ton 40 to leave a bogey number. Missed out on the chance after the very first dart there, but Adam Gawlas are an 11 darter here. Very, very good, Adam Gawlas.
I love the concern in Dirk's eyes, and he doesn't want anything but a victory in this match. You could tell now. He'd be very upset if he doesn't walk off the stage 3-0.
Oh, absolutely. Sure, he's coming here with a point to prove. It's only his second appearance at the Slam. He finished bottom of the group when he appeared 2 years ago. This is
48.
been a rare opportunity for Dirk to come and compete in Wolverhampton. And make no mistake, he's
58.
world number 16 coming into this tournament. He's going to rise up the rankings a bit. He's provisionally number 13 now, but he is regularly threatening to win titles, and big ones.
Yeah, that one 2 years ago when he finished bottom of the group was quite disappointing off the back of the World Grand Prix as runner-up.
Yeah, that was very much his breakthrough year. He'd gone from being an also-ran, a journeyman, if you like, to becoming one of the most dangerous players on the planet. And he's grown and grown and grown as a darts player.
And do you remember that first match at the Grand Prix where it was ugly? And he got through it, and then he came to life. But sometimes you need these little breaks here and there, something just to give breath to you.
You can be the greatest darts player in the world, but you do need a little bit of fortune every now and again.
118.
Can he force more in there? The answer is yes, but how many? All of them, turns out. 180 number 3, Dirk van Duijvenbode, potentially 2 legs away from topping the group with a 100% record and powering into the last 16.
125.
Does leave a finish.
83.
Double 16. And that is a beauty to wrap things up. Dirk van Duijvenbode underlining his title credentials, blasting through Group D with 3 wins out of 3.